Alright guys, so as you can see here, we are now docked with our brand new crew capsule. This one actually has a crew capsule on it, with a parachute. That's right, a parachute. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be redoing our plant growth experiment, because we already had one that we'd run, and I want to run another. Yes, another one. Because, you know, why not? Now in the meantime, we have a crew capsule to deorbit. This launch vehicle, as you can see here, was in fact launched. It was the launcher for the Plymouth Station, the new Plymouth Station module. And to avoid stuff getting too crowded, we are going to deorbit it. Nothing like a nice explosion to end the episode, don't you think? Well, not end the episode. I'll probably be back in a couple minutes when I actually bring that thing down and land it planet-side. But for right now, this is as close as we are coming to an explosion. What do you think about my orbit? Oh, yes, well, nice and steep, huh? Beautiful. So that's deorbited. That'll deorbit nicely. Switch to, please. Let's see how this guy's going for his deorbit. I think you're the one that's out of fuel, aren't you? Yes, and you are now in atmosphere, too. Let's see. And parry up to below 20. Awesome. Oh, cannot switch while under acceleration. So it looks like I'm stuck here until this thing hits the ground. Oh, sounds good to me. Too bad it's nighttime. Are there any lights on this thing? Because it's spinning nicely. Now remember, this is the old experimental module. I believe it's now out of power. Almost. It's out of everything else, though. Actually, had a good amount of food, water, and oxygen on there. It's too bad we're going to have to let it burn up in the atmosphere. Not that too bad. Sacrifice itself for science. I can turn that off now, by the way. You can see it's oscillating quite nice. Aerodynamic forces affecting it unevenly. Now, do you have enough torque for me to pull up? No, you have almost no torque on you. And we're going to descend through the atmosphere like a stone. Nice. No parachutes to retard our descent. Just a nosedive planet-side. Ooh, I see light. That was actually quite a fast impact. Let's take a look at the tracking station again. Now, we are cluttering space a little bit. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new alarm. Okay, let's switch to Plymouth. And this is going to take about 55 days to complete. And while we're up here, I just want to see how much I have for resources. Let's get my chip to go away. Alright, so I have plenty of food. Yeah, okay. So before I leave, what I'll do is I'll probably transfer Yeah. There we go. I can remember how to transfer stuff. I'll look that up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an alarm. Time alarm, I want 52 days. We're going to add the alarm. We're going to go back to the Space Center. Because what's going to happen now is we're going to switch back to the Space Center. We are going to go to our tracking station, just so I can see my Kerbal alarm clock screen on the side. And we're going to time accelerate like crazy. Looks good, right? I certainly think so. Spin, planet, spin. And this will give us some downtime, too. As the space program, you know, takes a bit of a breather. We've been on a somewhat rapid launch cycle, so I think, you know, the space program deserves a bit of a breather. Of course, I forget to actually switch the ship I want to. Nice 50 days off. In reality, that wouldn't be too bad for a space program. 50 days, it's a pretty quick turnaround. But what can you do? All right, so we are back in our ship. How is this guy doing? Good. Finalize results. Another 150 science. Keep the data. Okay, so now for the tricky part. Who is in here? Arbin. Yep, that's Arbin, all right. Arbin, you get to go on our EVA. So now what Arbin's going to do is Arbin's going to go over and say hello to the personnel over here in the cupola module. Because that is where we decided to store our science data. Alright. I wish there was a button for align to nearest spaceship. Because see, if I was an astronaut, I'd pretty much constantly stay aligned to that spaceship. Alright, so let's drop down a little bit. Let's store the experimental data. Now, I wonder if I can... So the problem is that if I just remove the data, right, I'm going to have a bit of a trouble here. But I'm not certain if I can do it. Well, we'll see. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. All right. So let's get back in. Now, our mission is done here, but let me check something here. Yes, yes, yes. Transfer of resources. Alt. So let's see here. All right. Oh, I can't transfer anything with these pods. That's interesting. Oh, because it's this type of docking port. Which means we're pretty much going to have to completely redo this ship when we can. Interesting. All right, so let us undock. Dock port's not for fuel transfer. So let's undock now. Let's get our RCS on. And let's thrust away from the station a little bit. Alright. Flip me to my retrograde. And I want my... Ooh, I don't have any orbital information here. Orbit info. And we just want to drop our peri nice and low. Say 40 kilometer periaps. And yes, we are deorbiting with our RCS, because that is literally all this vehicle has right now. So we are just going to deorbit with our RCS, like that. Beautiful. Alright. So now let's turn that off. Let us arm shoot for deployment. And let's do the time warp. And I'll bring you guys back in once we're landed successfully. Alright, as you guys can see, we got both of our science recoveries for their 251 science. Let's see what we can get. I could... That's 300, so I can't get nuclear propulsion. or very heavy rocketry, but that would be nice. That KR2L is awesome. But this is some of the biggest stuff we can produce. Oh my gosh. Metamaterials. Tri-adapters. Ooh, that's 2.5 into 1 into... Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. But that's a little bit ahead of us still. We get high altitude flight, which are the control surfaces. Better pods. S2 gear. Ooh, that stuff's all so cool. Ooh, thermal turbojet. The problem is that that kind of requires nuclear engines. Yeah, that requires nuclear reactors to do. That's probe. Could be fun. Well, I'm going to be doing more station experiments, but I kind of want to get this. Yeah, let's do this. So I'm going to be playing around with... Oh, I can't. That's 300. Ooh, never mind then. In that case, we might as well get either that. What's up here? Grabbers. Ooh, this gives me actual docking ports. Yeah, see, actual docking ports and the hitchhiker. Ooh, yeah, I'm still getting this now. Alright, so I'm going to get this, and I will see you guys in the next episode. That way, we actually have a shot at, getting some good work done. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Mr. Kassarian. I want to thank you all for watching, and as always, happy exploring, guys. And we are off, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a brand new station and science module that we are going to be putting into orbit. Nice. Not too shabby. At least I don't think so. So, anyways, I really don't think you guys actually need to see this launch. You've seen it before. Just note, this is my first asparagus staged launch system. So this side's going to kick away. Then this side. So this two pair here and here will kick first, followed by these two. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, we're coming in on final. I am allowing MechJeb once again to do the docking because I really want to ensure that this little module I'm docking goes in correctly and straight. Alright. Now, I'm not certain why my computer is deciding to take today to click in and out of time warp mode. You can see up here, it's having some issues today for some reason. I'm not certain why. But, did you disengage? You disengaged. There we go. There we go. We're coming back into alignment now. Really, everything locked on. There we go. Alright. So what this is going to let us do is I've installed the Station Science mod. I don't know why this thing's just crapping out on me today. My computer should have plenty of power to deal with this, but alright, apparently not. So what Station Science will let me do is use my science lab, the Mobile Science Processing Lab, this thing up here, to basically function as to reprocess the science. And by reprocessing the science, what it's going to do is actually allow me to get to 100% completion on my science experiments, even though I'm transmitting. And that's actually part of the expanded science mod, I believe, which is going to be a huge help to me. Absolutely huge help to me. So we're just going to bring in our docking ports here. We're going to let it dock. In just a couple seconds like that. Bring it in. Slow it down for the docking. And we're docked. Awesome. Okay, then. So this thing is now docked. I can decouple that node. Switch back to this thing. And then just pull this thing away from the station. This was not part of our planned activities for the day, so we'll just yank this thing back. Just like that. Beautiful. Awesome. Now let's go to ASS. Flip us onto a retrograde. And we'll just deorbit this bit before we actually, use up any of its fuel. Beautiful. I should have transferred some of the crap out of it, but that doesn't matter. I don't actually have a docking port on this thing, so... Alright. We'll go to full engine burn. And we will deorbit it. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Let's just bring up my orbit info here. Periaps is nice and low. Awesome. Now let's just switch back to this thing. Okay, which is causing some lag for me for some reason. I'm not certain why. So now with our MPL, Mobile Processing Lab, in position, we should be pretty much all set. And you can see I now have the Clampetrons, which I have connected to the Attachatrons. So that should be fine. And I think this thing is all now happy. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's just shut down our lights to preserve some power. There we go. Now, I don't presently have any experiments on this thing, which is one downside to this whole construction. But that's completely all right. That is totally okay. I'll bring up some more experiments off camera and dock those up to the station. And what I'm going to be also doing is putting just a hub port over here, which should not be too bad. All right.